So vibrato is kind of a hot topic. Everybody's interested in it. That's one of the first things my beginner students really notice that I'm doing, that they're not doing, is the vibrato. And they're really cute, they're really excited about it, but I do have to kind of ask them to wait a little bit, because before I teach vibrato, I do try to make sure that the student has a good foundation. They need to be able to play pretty well in tune, and they have to have a good setup. So, you know, their hand shape, finger shape, their general posture needs to be quite solid. As soon as some of these basics are done, I do try to introduce vibrato a little bit earlier. I think is better than too late. Probably before vibrato, I might teach shifting first and then introduce the vibrato afterwards. Vibrato is a very, very lengthy subject. It's a fun one. I think I need to develop a series for this topic because it goes all the way into the advanced stages. So I would say after you've learned all the basics, then you need to learn how to develop your vibrato. And so I have an entire system on how to develop vibrato, meaning how to create a range of colors. So vibrato, first of all, you have to learn how the motion works and what parts of your body are in motion. And there's also many types of vibrato. I would say there's probably at least 4 different types of vibrato or more, but 2 are the most prominent. They are arm vibrato and wrist vibrato. They kind of don't match up, because when you're talking about wrist vibrato, it's actually the hand is wobbling. And then when you're talking about arm vibrato, the arm is going as a unit. See how this is quiet now? So this is arm vibrato, this is going as a unit. This is wrist vibrato, where really the hand is going, and then from here up is moving, not really down here. So I usually teach wrist vibrato first because I believe it's harder to learn, and so I'd rather have my students start with the more challenging one. And then, you know, for the very small percentage of people who for whom this method that I use doesn't work, it's probably about 10% or less. And then what I do is, after they've gone through all the steps and it's not quite as successful as I had hoped, I do change my method. So I look at the student, see what their struggles are physically, I see what their struggles are mentally, because sometimes it's a conceptual problem. They have maybe not understood what's really going on correctly in their minds, and therefore there's a bit of a roadblock right there. So eventually we do get it working, so I have developed these steps as baby steps, and in fact we start away from the instrument first, just to understand what's moving in our hands and our arms, and then we gradually go to our instrument, and then we add the bow at the very, very end. All right, so I just showed you a little demo of how to vary the vibrato, and so that's kind of way later in the process. Once you see that your student can actually shake it and, you know, things are working okay, then we have to learn how to control it. So vibrato has a great range of variation. It has the width of it ranges from narrow to wide, and then the speed of it ranges obviously from slow to fast. So that's what I just showed you at the beginning of the video. I'm combining those things, and then also the third element is the bow. So when you're using vibrato, you always want to pair it up with the bow, because without the bow bringing the vibrato to life, we're kind of missing half the story. So we want to vary the bow weight, the bow speed, and the contact point based on how we're varying the vibrato speed and width. Okay, so anyway, I have another video about the 3 elements of tone production. Super basic, super important. Even if you know how to produce sound, I highly recommend you watch that video. And then in later videos, when I develop the vibrato, you're going to see how all of these things converge.